This is worthless.
It's less than worthless, my boy.
Greetings, fellow mortals. Just a reminder saying it's just my opinion is for cowards. Oh, and there will be spoilers for the Acolyte ahead, so be warned. I hate Star Wars. As time has gone on, I've decided that I don't even really like the OG movies all that much. I have no skin in this game. I want to see these stupid mistakes and watch the fans squirm and cry. And I feel like the Acolyte writers are on the same exact page as me, because they pulled down their trousers, squatted down, and did their business right in the story's mouth. Because the ending twist of the Acolyte has to be the funniest mess that I have ever seen. So irredeemably bad that it has to be intentional, and I love them for it. Great job pissing off your fans. Not a good business plan, admittedly, but it sure is funny as hell. In episode 7 of what is the most unnecessarily long and drawn-out show you have ever seen, the writers attempt to do a flashback scene to recontextualize what they've revealed before in another perspective. In the hands of capable writers, this can be a marvelous twist, an amazing tool, causing the audience to gasp and go back and watch previous installments, sitting on the edge of their seats as they comb through every detail to make sure that they understand the intricate work and thought process the creators put in for their amusement, leaving everyone satisfied with the end result. Or you could just do this and troll your audience, filling your veins with the drugs that are your fans' disappointed tears. You see, the Jedi interacted with the Force Witch Coven because they felt a disturbance in the Force. So they spent months on the surface of the planet instead of, sending droids to do it, or doing a proper scan from space, where you can find the only giant building in the entire world with electricity and running water. Well, okay, they might not have running water. In fact, everyone in this scene probably smells like a dead skunk at this point. Anyway, when the Jedi confront the witches in order to save little girls from an unknown ceremony where there is no possible way a minor could consent to, the trouble begins. You see, one of the witches starts to turn into black smoke and chant demonically, all while a little girl looks like she's about to be snapped by Thanos. So you can imagine what a Jedi would think about this. If something looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it must obviously be an airplane, because the witch was actually trying to teleport the little girl out of there to safety, because that's a good witch, you see. It just looked and sounded evil. Never mind the fact that if the witch just said, hey, we should probably get the little girl out of here so that we don't accidentally hurt her during the confrontation, then the Jedi probably would have backed down, and then the whole situation would have been resolved.
Oh, it's so obvious. I would have never thought of that.
Of course, that's what she claimed that she was trying to do. The Force isn't exactly known for its subtleties. I'm not that big of a fan, and I haven't watched all of that much, but even I know that. If a power looks and sounds evil in Star Wars, it's pretty much evil. The light and dark side of the Force. What about the gray? I don't think the gray side of the Force actually exists. You're either a celibate monk or the worst person in the universe. Those are the rules. I didn't make them up. So the incel Jedi stabs a lesbian in the stomach. And to be fair, you never know if stabbing someone with a lightsaber will actually kill people in this universe. Many have survived having their internal organs sliced and burned to a crisp, with no explanation whatsoever about why they're still breathing. And after the first witch dies, the rest of the witches die because they use an evil force power to rip the free will out of a Wookiee and make him do their bidding. And when the Jedi free the poor victim from the mind control, the other witches just drop to the ground lifelessly. And the Jedi decide to blame the little girl villain instead of just saying these weird ass adults in the middle of the woods were doing an unknown ceremony with minors, was using smoke demon abilities to use a child as a human shield, and then the rest of them died because they used the Imperious curse on an innocent creature. creature. I don't know about you, but I would just go with the idea that the witches are in fact evil. The Force technically has a black and white morality system. There's either the light side of the Force or the dark side of the Force and no in between. And considering that killing them didn't lead to you being part of the dark side of the Force, you might be the good guys. So there's no reason to cover this up at all.
I can handle things, I'm smart! Not like everybody says!
I mean, if someone burst into my home with a gun and pointed it at my wife, I would assume that they're going to kill her, so I wouldn't feel bad when I knocked their teeth down their throat. But then the assailant would say, "Ha, I was using the teleportation gun to get her out of here so that we could fight honorably one-on-one." I might be a tiny bit skeptical of a device that looks evil and doesn't exist in reality as I know it, so I would assume that they were lying, and the removing free will power from an innocent creature is obviously a dark Force power. So the twist was that the witches were actually evil all along, and this whole thing was completely pointless. And that's how the Acolyte trolled their audience and made the worst twist in the history of storytelling. And I love it so much. Just hook it into my veins. I want to marry it. They obviously hate Star Wars because either they did this on purpose to make fun of the entire concept of Star Wars, or they didn't care enough to put any real thought into this whatsoever. Either way, I'm happy and laughing. Thank you, Acolyte writers. This made my week and encouraged me to keep writing on my own projects, because no matter how negative I ever think about myself, I can at least take solace in knowing that even the worst thing that I will ever write or create will never be even close to this level of failure. So when's the next one? Because I cannot wait to see everyone get so mad at it again. Oh, it's so fantastic. I love it so much. You're welcome to disagree with all this. That's fine. After all, everyone is entitled to their objectively wrong opinion.
That was very strange.
It was very weird.
It was peculiar.
It was kind of amusing.
Yes, it was rather funny.
It was incredibly funny.
I loved it.
Hilarious.
Thank you all so much for watching.
Good night, everybody! Thank you, bye, boom!
Do not despair.